Good afternoon. Today's topic is skin tumors, squamous cell carcinoma and basal cell carcinoma. So first we will see the basal cell carcinoma. What is the definition of the basal cell carcinoma? The basal cell carcinoma is the most common malignancy of the skin, constitute 80% of all the skin cancer. The patient with the xeroderma pigmentosum who have a diminished capacity for repairing the sun-induced mutation develop a large number of the basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma early in the life. So these are the etiology and predisposing factor for the development of the basal cell carcinoma as well as squamous cell carcinoma. The site for the basal cell carcinoma is a mostly sun-exposed skin in a hair-bearing area. Example, head and neck. And also site with a limited or no sun exposure can be seen. So what is the pathology which causes the development of the basal cell carcinoma? These are the mutation in the PTCH1, PTCH2, SMO and SUFU gene. This predispose the patient to the development of the BCC. So various etiological factor causes a mutation in this gene. These are responsible for the normal functioning of the basal cell, but the mutation causes the abnormal overgrowth of the basal cell, which leads to the development of the basal cell carcinoma. So pathogenesis is a main cause for the basal cell carcinoma is a ultraviolet rays, which causes a mutation that I have enlisted previously. So this mutation develops the basal cell carcinoma. If the repair occurs, there is some period for which the gene remains dormant. But if the genetic predisposition occurs, so the mutation redevelop and there is a overgrowth, which leads to the squamous cell carcinoma or basal cell carcinoma. Ultraviolet rays also causes the immunosuppression, which leads to the mutation and which in turn causes the development of the malignancy. So this is the main pathological pathogenesis for the development of the basal cell carcinoma. This is the same. Ultraviolet A rays, B rays, this all causes the DNA break. Immune system inhibition. This leads to the liberation of the various cytokines, which reduces the Langerhans cell, which is a protective cell in the layer of the skin, and which leads to the activation of the local or systemic response, which causes the abnormal cell proliferation. Second mechanism is genetic instability, which leads to the tumor suppression inactivation. Normally P53 is activated, which causes the inhibition of development of the tumor, but P53 inactivation leads to the development of the tumor. Next is the DNA repair process. If the repair process occurs and the apoptosis of the cell occurs, there is an arrest of the cell cycle, so the growth is not possible. So in which there is a normal cell proliferation, but in these two conditions, immune system inhibition and tumor suppression inactivation leads to the abnormal cell proliferation, and this leads to the development of the tumor. So this is the pathophysiology for this. Now what are the what are the risk factors for the development of the basal cell carcinoma? There is various genetic as well as environmental factors. The genetic are the red hair, blonde hair, blue or green eyes, fair skin, vitiligo, exposure to the sunbed, use ultraviolet light, radiation, arsenic, coal tar. These are the environmental factors. Other is the chronic trauma like a radiotherapy, scar, wound or ulceration, burns. Next, immunosuppression like a autoimmune disease or iatrogenic. And next is a genodermatomes. These are the albinism, various genetic condition. Albinism, xeroderma pigmentosum, rhombocytoma. This can lead to the development of the basal cell carcinoma. Now what are the clinical features? So most common appearance is a papule or nodule with a telangiectasia, which may be eroded or ulcerated. So in the basal cell carcinoma, there is a overgrowth of the basal cell. This leads to the development of the papule or nodule, which is a telangiectasis, red in color, or maybe eroded or ulcerated. Papules of the BCC may clinically resembles the nevus, fibroma, or folliculitis. Metastases are extremely rare because it is a locally aggressive tumor. So metastasis is a rare in this case in the basal cell carcinoma, while it is a common in the squamous cell carcinoma. Gross description: it is a reddish tan to pink papule or nodule with or without the central ulceration and often with the telangiectasis, prominent subepidermal blood vessels. Atrophic to indurated scar-like lesion typically will show a infiltrative histological pattern. So this is a gross picture. The nodule or ulcerative lesion situated above the draw line, the angle of the mouth to the pinna. It is the most common site for the development of BCC. And the ulcer is invasive and destructive, and the tumor nibbles away from the skin like a rodent. So it is also called rodent ulcer. So this is the gross for the basal cell carcinoma. Macroscopic or histological description: basaloid cell which are proliferating with a scant cytoplasm, elongated hyperchromatic nuclei, peripheral pellicity, and peritumoral clefting or mucinous alteration in the surrounding stroma. So the classical basal cell carcinoma shows a basaloid cell arranged in the nest with scant cytoplasm and elongated hyperchromatic nuclei along with the peripheral pellicity. While in the variant, there are the different variant and the different feature for the different variant. Also, mitotic figure and apoptotic bodies are seen. The presence of the myxoid stroma and the peripheral clefting has been suggested most helpful distinguish from the BCC from the other basaloid cell tumors. So we have to see for this. So this is a histological pattern in the basal cell carcinoma. We can see there is a arrangement of the basal cell in the nesting pattern, having a peripheral pellicity like arrangement, having a elongated hyperchromatic nuclei. So this is a histology of the basal cell. In the other variant, mucinous variant, we can see the mucinous component. This is the same picture. Squamous cell carcinoma, in this the proliferation of the superficial squamous epithelial cell. In the basal cell, proliferation of the basal cell. In the melanoma, the proliferation of the melanocyte. So diagnosis for the basal cell carcinoma is first we have to clinically assess the patient. So dermatological examination is must. Next, we have to take the biopsy for the confirmation of the diagnosis. So histopathology confirms the diagnosis of the basal cell carcinoma. And other recent study we can do is a genetic mutation testing for the basal cell carcinoma. So these are the main diagnostic point for the basal cell carcinoma. Next is the squamous cell carcinoma. Cutaneous squamous cell carcinoma is the malignancy of the epidermal keratinocytes that display the variable degree of the differentiation and cytological features. Most the same appears in the sun-exposed area like a scalp, ear, lip, nose, eyelid are the high-risk anatomical site. But the other side which contain the squamous epithelial lining can develop a squamous cell carcinoma. Pathophysiology. It appears to develop through the multi-step process that we have seen. Ultraviolet radiation, mutation involving gene like a TP53, CDKN2A, Notch1, Notch2, EGFR, TERT, and the molecular pathway like a RAS pathway, RAF pathway have been shown to play important role in the development of the squamous cell carcinoma. So previously we have seen in the flowchart that this all mutation causes a development of the tumors, and other these are the pathway which are engaged in a cell cycle mechanism. So this pathway also lead to the development of the mutation or inhibition of the repair, and this all condition together lead to the development of the tumor. It's the same normal skin. When the ultraviolet rays withheld, there is a development of the mutation in the cell. which are proliferated. So there is a development of the clones, expanded clones for the tumor cell, multiple clone in the mutated field. This lead to the pre-malignant condition like actinic keratosis within the field, and this in turn leads to the squamous cell carcinoma. This process is a continuous exposure of the ultraviolet rays. If there is a cessation of the stimulus, there can be chance for the mutation repair, and there is a stoppage of the development of the tumor cell. So if the continuous exposure to the risk factor leads to the development of the malignancy. Etiology. In this same, the ultraviolet light radiation, it is a main etiology. Next, chronic immunosuppression. Actinic keratosis is a precursor lesion. Albinism, lack of the pigmentation in the skin. Arsenic, burn scar, chronic ulcer, chronic inflammation, sinus tract, human papilloma infection, TARS, oil, xeroderma pigmentosa. These all risk factors lead to the development of the mutation and development of the tumor. Clinical feature. It is a thin squamous cell carcinoma, erythematous scaly thin papule or plaque, while in the thicker tumors typically present as a erythematous plaque, nodule, ulcer. So this is the gross photo of the foot. The tumor is either in the form of the nodular or ulcerative growth or fungating or polypoid mass with or without the ulceration. Margins of the growth can be elevated or indurated. Cut surface of the growth shows grey-white endophytic as well as exophytic tumor. So we have to clinically examine the gross thoroughly. Microscopic description. The carcinoma of the keratinocyte that infiltrate the dermis. So in the microscopy we can see the keratinocytes which are invading the dermis with the malignant changes. The squamous cell carcinoma has a various type of the differentiation: well differentiated, moderately differentiated, and poorly differentiated. So according to the differentiation, the cytological features are C. An associated precursor lesion like actinic keratosis, keratinocytic dysplasia, squamous cell carcinoma in situ is often present. The spectrum of the histological features all share the downward growth below the level of the adjacent overlying epithelium. If the carcinoma involves only epithelium, it's called carcinoma in situ, which has not crossed the basement membrane. And if the carcinoma tumor cell hair break the basement membrane and appears in the dermis, it's called invasive squamous cell carcinoma. So this is a histological features of a squamous cell carcinoma. For the diagnosis, the characteristic gross features are suggestive of the diagnosis, and definitive diagnosis is made by the shave or punch biopsy or excisional biopsy and histopathological examination. This is about the diagnostic. So for the diagnosis, gross and microscopic examination is a very important. So this is the main key feature for the diagnosis of the squamous cell carcinoma as well as basal cell carcinoma. Thank you.